Welcome to Top Level Trades Pokemon League, Saturday, December 28th. We are at the Vintage Vault, getting ready for tonight's showdown to declare the winner of the tournament. We have two very good players playing for us tonight. We have Tanner on the right playing Raging Bolt. He is very experienced with the deck. He's played the deck quite a bit. We've seen him at the tournament multiple times. Plays first with this deck. Tonight he is facing off against Justin with a Dragapult Thorns, Iron Thorns EX deck. Now, if Justin is able to get that Iron Thorns EX out into the active spot early in this game, it really could cause some issues for Tanner. The initialization ability of Iron Thorns is going to prevent Tanner from being able to utilize those Teal Mask Ogerpons using that Teal Dance to get through the deck. We do see the dice roll. Tanner is going to be going first for us. He's drawing into, it looks like, 2 Ogerpons. I do not see any grass energy on that draw. Not too strong of a draw on that hand for a Raging Bolt player. Now typically we're going to see Raging Bolt choose to go second because Raging Bolt is known for getting out there, getting set up, and making early attacks to get some prizes early. Looks like we're going to have a second Teal Mask Ogerpon put out on the field. He doesn't have any grass energies. He's going to go ahead and play that Pokegear, and we're going to look at the top 7 cards of his deck, see if he can find a supporter. If so, he can grab it. It doesn't appear that there is any supporter in the top hand. He's not going to get anything from that Pokegear. Still sitting here with this hand, he does not have a whole lot of plays to make. As someone who does play Raging Bolt, it's always unfortunate to see a setup like this when you know that you can do so much in a first hand with the right cards. It's going to always matter how you draw into those cards. As we see here, he doesn't have a lot to do, so he's going to go ahead and pass over to Justin. On Justin's side, we do see the Radiant Alakazam in the active. We have a Dreepy hitting the field, getting set up for that future Dragapult. The Dragapult Alakazam combo could pose issues later game for Tanner, as Dragapult is able to place energy to benched Pokemon, and Alakazam is able to move around some damage each turn. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for us tonight. The Nest Ball being played as Justin gets his first look into his deck, maybe get a chance to see what might have landed in the prize stack. He is getting that Toedscool. It will be interesting once he is able to bring out the Toedscool, as the Slime Mold Colony ability is going to prevent the opponent from bringing any cards that are in his discard pile into their hand by the effect of his opponent's abilities or any trainer cards. So pairing that alongside Iron Thorns EX's ability for initialization is really going to prevent the draw power of the Raging Bolt. We see the manual attached with the Psychic Energy and a pass for turn as Tanner grabs his first Raging Bolt, attaching the Bravery Charm for that extra 50 HP, and then manually attaching a Lightning Energy. He's going to go ahead and play the switch card and bring that Raging Bolt up into the active spot and attach the Bravery Charm to that Teal Mask Ogerpon. We will see him end his turn with a Bursting Roar, allowing him to discard his hand and draw 6 new cards. Moving back over to Justin, we do not see a lot of luck with the draws. He's going to go ahead and manually attach that second energy to the Alakazam. He is now geared up to put an attack into that Raging Bolt. It will do 20 damage for every card in Tanner's hand. It looks like Tanner does have 6 cards, so I believe that will be 120 damage he will be able to put out onto the Raging Bolt. That Terra Orb is going to let him grab a Terra Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into his hand. He is going to grab the Dragapult EX, which will be most likely his main attacker here. We see the turn pass to Tanner as he draws into a Nest Ball. He's going to go ahead and play that Nest Ball. It'll be interesting to see what he decides. It looks like he is considering the Slitherwing. The Slitherwing does have the Burning Turbulence attack that will do 120 damage, which is just 10 short of Alakazam's 130 HP, but it does apply a burn, so we would see a knockout in the Pokemon checkup. but he doesn't appear to be going for that. We see him further searching his deck, and it appears he is going to grab the Pheasantipity. Pheasantipity being a great card to have on the bench. If you do see a knockout, you can flip the script on your next turn, draw 3 cards. That could be a lifesaver in a situation where Iron Thorns being in the active is preventing the Raging Bolt player to get through the deck with the Teal Dances, but we are not there yet. We do see Tanner play an Earthen Vessel, discarding a Grass Energy. He's able to pull 2 more energies out of his deck. Looks like he is going to grab a Fighting Energy and a Grass Energy. I believe we did see a second Earthen Vessel and a Sada in hand, so we will be able to see more cards hit the discard, lining up for that Sada to be able to attach that energy to the bolt. And with the Grass Energies that he is grabbing alongside these energies, we are going to see a lot of energies hit the field here in just a minute. The bolt is getting set up. Things seem to be rolling out pretty well for Tanner. If he were to have grabbed that Slitherwing, it would have set up for the Sada to lay 2 energies, but he still has the Teal Dances as well, which we will see him go ahead into that now. He grabs what I believe would be the Prime Catcher, and he is going to Teal Dance, I'm sure, into that second Teal Mask Ogerpon. If he grabs another Ancient Pokemon, which is not the case, he would have had it set up to be able to Sada for 2 energies, increasing the damage of that Raging Bolt. We see the Sada played, 1 Fighting Energy. It is now fully ready to attack, and he will draw 3 off of this Sada. Grabs a second Raging Bolt for the field, a Pokegear for later for searching for those supporters, and has another Grass Energy as well. We look to see him do the attack. He is going to be taking a Lightning Energy from the Bolt and a Grass from one of the Ogerpons for 140 damage on the Radiant Alakazam. That will get Tanner his first prize, and we move over to Justin. Justin does draw the Dracloak to get that Dreepy evolution out. He does utilize the Recon Directive to look at the top 2 cards of his deck. He gets to keep 1 and put 1 on the bottom of the deck. Looking at Iono and Arven, appears he is going with the Arven, as we see the Iono hit the bottom of the deck. That Arven will allow him to search the deck for an item and a supporter card. We would think possibly getting that Dragapult out with a rare candy may be a thought, but he would have no energies on it, leaving it exposed to the Raging Bolt. He does grab the Precious Trolley and the Technical Machine evolution. Using that Precious Trolley is going to allow him to stack up his bench with any number of basic Pokemon that he has in there. It looks like his first pick will be a Dreepy. I'm sure he will grab an Iron Thorns and get that out onto the bench. He could grab a second Iron Thorns, possibly another Dreepy. He is skimming through that deck. It doesn't appear that he has something that he wants. Checks the discard pile. Decides not to go with another Pokemon, and we see the manual attached, the technical evolution being used, going to be able to get a second Dracloak out, most likely that Toedscruel. There's the Toedscruel. We now see Slime Mold Colony go into effect. We're not going to see any energies being pulled out of that discard by any trainers or Pokemon for the Raging Bolt. That will be something he will want to take care of relatively quickly. Moving over to Tanner, we see him go right into the Teal Dance from both of the Ogerpons, getting to draw 2 cards. We don't see a Sada. We're not pulling any energies out of the discard. Sada would still be able to be utilized with the Toedscruel's ability, as it is not placing energies from the discard to his hand but onto the field. We see a Pokegear being played, going for that Sada, and it is the first card of the draw. He does have a Sada. He will be able to pull some energies out and set up the Bolt. This will be interesting to see how he plays this out, because the Dreepy that is in the active is not something that is posing too much of an issue. He does have a Toedscruel and an Iron Thorns on the bench. If he is able to utilize that Prime Catcher to get a Iron Thorns or a Toedscruel up in the place, I believe having the Sada and the energies that he has in hand will allow him to set up the benched Raging Bolt for the attack and bring in any Pokemon off of his opponent's bench. I think either the Toedscruel or the Iron Thorns would be a much better choice than the Dreepy that's currently inactive. So it will be interesting to see what Tanner decides to do here. I believe the Toedscruel is going to be something at this point in the game is going to be more detrimental to the Raging Bolt. We'll see the Sada being played. We see the attached to the active Raging Bolt. We'll see the grab for another energy for the benched Raging Bolt. He does get a draw 3 off of that Sada as well. Pokestop, Radiant Greninja, and another Nest Ball. We'll see the fighting energy be placed onto the benched Raging Bolt. He is now set to attack, and he will play the Prime Catcher. He is going to bring the Toedscroll into the active spot. This will set the Raging Bolt up to be able to knock out that Toedscroll. It is a 1 prize Pokemon, but he will get that out of the way from being able to pull energies out of the discard pile into his hand. This is a very important move for the Raging Bolt deck. We'll see the discard of 2 grass energies from the Teal Mask Ogerpon to get the knockout on the Toedscroll. Moving over to Justin, deciding which Pokemon he is going to move up into the active to face that Raging Bolt. He is going to move the Dreepy back into the active spot. It does have the fire energy attached from the last turn. He would be able to retreat that Pokemon if he needed to. We do see a Recon Directive. I believe we got a Crispin on that draw. We'll see the second Recon Directive. He'll be looking at the next 2 cards on his deck. I believe an Ultra Ball and a Lightning Energy. He does not have a Lightning Energy in hand. He decides to discard that Nest or that Ultra Ball, go with the Lightning Energy, places the rescue board on the Dreepy. He is going to go ahead and evolve the Dracloak and get the Dragapult onto the bench. He does need to get some energies onto that Dragapult before it's able to attach, and that is where the Crispin is going to come into play. Crispin being a supporter card from the new Surging Sparks set, it does allow him to search his deck for up to 2 basic energy cards of different types. He reveals them. He gets to put 1 on a Pokemon, 1 into his hand. That is going to help him place 2 energies on the Dragapult this turn. The Dragapult is now set up to be able to use that Phantom Dive attack. It's going to allow him to do 200 damage, but doesn't quite knock out that Raging Bolt. It does also allow him to place 6 damage counters on any of his opponent's benched Pokemon. We do have a damaged Raging Bolt down there. I do not believe the 60 is going to be enough to take care of that, but it will be something that Tanner will have to be mindful of moving forward, as that could easily move into extra prize knockouts for Justin. We will see Justin move forward with the Phantom Dive. That is going to put 200 damage on the active Raging Bolt. It will also allow him to place 60 damage, 6 damage counters on any of the opponent's Pokemon any way that he would like. Looks like he's going to target the Fez, the Ogerpon, and the second Ogerpon, putting 20 damage on each of these Pokemon. Now that is going to put all benched Pokemon within range of a Phantom Dive knockout. That also gets everything a little closer to the 4 prize knockout if Tanner is not able to do something with this Dragapult that is in the active spot. We see Tanner move into a Teal Dance, gonna draw a card, pulls the Night Stretcher. We see the play of the Stadium Pokestop. He's going to flip that Pokestop, get to keep the items he draws, but he does go 1 for 3, pulling out an energy retrieval, discarding a Teal Mask Ogerpon and the Slitherwing. That energy retrieval is able to be used as the Toedscroll is not out. That Colony Mold is not affecting him. He does get the 2 grass energies, able to Teal Dance again. We see the Sada come into hand. At this point, Tanner has plenty of energies on the field to take care of that Dragapult at 320 HP. 5 energies would give the Raging Bolt 350 damage, an easy knockout for Tanner. I think at this point we are seeing it be a really hard comeback for Justin. Tanner using the Night Stretcher after searching the deck with his Nest Ball. We did not see a Raging Bolt in there. That's the only thing I can think of that would put Tanner in a little bit better of a situation than he is currently in. If he were able to get that fresh Raging Bolt on the field. He does have the switch card in hand. He could bring it into play, healing the active Raging Bolt by 30 and putting a full 240 HP Raging Bolt into the active spot. This would protect him from any large hits that he may get or multi-prize knockouts that Justin may be able to pull off with that Dragapult. I know that we will see it knocked out, but Justin did draw into a Night Stretcher early and is still hanging on to it. He could get that Dragapult back out onto the field. That would put him into a good position to possibly knock out both Raging Bolts if he were to have a Boss's Orders or a counter catcher in hand. Being able to bring that Raging Bolt off of the bench into the active position would put both of them in range of the Phantom Dive ability, which would leave a 4-prize knockout, leaving Tanner with the Teal Mask Ogerpons. But with the cards that we know Tanner has in hand, I believe he will be able to prevent that. He does have a switch card that would heal 30 off of the active Raging Bolt. We see him place the Slitherwing, adding another energy to the field. I believe he is up to 10 energies on the field at this point. He is going to utilize the switch card to heal the 30 damage off of the active Raging Bolt, putting him just outside the range of a Phantom Dive. This would be a perfect situation for that Radiant Alakazam to be on the bench, being able to move some damage back onto that Raging Bolt, but Tanner is going to ensure that would not even be possible with the attach of that Bravery Charm, giving that benched Raging Bolt 60 more HP. We're going to move forward with the Bellowing Thunder, discarding 5 energies for 350 damage, leaving 5 energies in play. This is going to make it extremely difficult for Justin to come back. It is 6-2. We see Dreepy move into the active, and Tanner is going to pull the Boss's Orders on the prize draw there. This further seals the deal on the win for Tanner, as if he were to leave the Dreepy in the active to leave a 1-prize knockout for Tanner, he would be able to boss that Iron Thorns in and easily take care of it with the Raging Bolt. If he does decide to use that Night Stretcher and bring that Dragapult back into play, it does not have enough power to take out both Raging Bolts, leaving it vulnerable. All Tanner would need to do is attach 1 energy, and he would be back to 5 energies for a full 350 Bellowing Thunder that would seal the deal. I think that Justin may be coming to the realization of this. He is going to use that Recon Directive. I did see a Pokegear in there. He could pull the energies for a Dragapult attack, but I still do not think that it is enough to do anything for him. He does get the Crispin in there that would allow for the attach of both energies that the Dragapult would need. He's going to use the Crispin. We see a Lightning. We see a Fire. I believe he needs a Psychic Energy still. He does not have the Psychic Energy. At this point, he will not be able to attack with the Dragapult even if he does get it out. I believe he is coming to the realization that this is not going to be possible for him, and we may be moving into game 2. And there it is. They're going to call the game. This one's going to go to Tanner with Raging Bolt, and we will be on to game 2. Welcome back to Top Level Trades Pokemon League. We are in game 2 of round 4. We have Dragapult Thorns versus Raging Bolt EX. Raging Bolt being able to take game 1 in this best of 3 Swiss round. Talking with Justin in between hands, he has not had the best of luck tonight. He has drawn into 12 mulligans in the prior 3 rounds. Tanner not being hot with the dice tonight, having to start first on all hands but one with the Raging Bolt. Typically, we're going to want to see a Raging Bolt player start in the second spot, second turn, being able to use that supporter setup for early attacks, but he has not had that opportunity tonight. Still done well, as his record shows. He has not seen a loss tonight. He will have to start first this hand, as well as Justin is going to elect to go second. A lot of variety here tonight in the decks we are seeing. We have a Goodra V-Star out there. We have an Ancient Box. We have a Crown Jewel Terapagos. So we're seeing a variety of different builds out there. The Dragapult, Thorns, Raging Bolt facing off now. We see Tanner draw into a mulligan. So he is going to take that mulligan luck from Justin. Obviously, Justin is not going to have to draw for a mulligan. He has a Pokemon in the active spot. He has placed his prizes. He'll be waiting to draw one extra card, as Tanner has drawn into a mulligan. Going first is going to prevent Tanner from being able to use that Sada and get that Raging Bolt powered up in turn one. He isn't able to attack, so this is a disadvantage for Tanner going first. With the mulligan, we'll go for a second draw. We'll see a Palpad, a Pokestop, an Earthen Vessel, a second Earthen Vessel. There is the basic Pokemon he'll need to prevent the mulligan. He does have a Raging Bolt in. Not too bad of a draw for a first hand on the Raging Bolt. We did see some Earthen Vessels. We did see some energies. He has the Pokestop. Might not see that played here this first turn, as it's a little early. We could see some Pokemon that he needs hitting the discard pile if he's going to spin that too early. We will see the Earthen Vessel discarding that fighting energy into the discard pile. That does get it lined up for a Sada to pick up later. He's going to grab one lightning and one grass energy. He has an additional Earthen Vessel he would be able to put that lightning energy into the discard pile with. He would then be set up with a fighting energy and a lightning energy, meaning whichever energy he draws into by chance, he would be able to set up that Raging Bolt. So it looks like he is going to manually attach that lightning energy to the Raging Bolt and pass to Justin. Justin having that Iron Thorns in the active position is going to prevent any teal dances from going on, limiting that draw power of the Raging Bolt deck. We see a Crispin played right out the gate to get some additional energies out of that deck. That is also going to allow him to place two energies on the Iron Thorns if he decides he does. He puts the energies on the Iron Thorns. We are now looking at only needing one more energy and the Iron Thorns being able to attack. I do not believe we will see an attack from the Iron Thorns EX, which is unfortunate. That Volt Cyclone would have allowed him to get 140 damage out early on that Bolt, moving an energy from that Iron Thorns to possibly the Dreepy, gearing up to be ready to get a Dragapult EX out on the field. We see him look at the hand. He does have the Ultra Ball. He could discard some energies to look through the deck for a Pokemon. It looks like that is what he is going to consider. He is going to Ultra Ball. Having that Iron Thorns in the active spot, preventing the teal dance from happening with the Ogerpons. Now grabbing the Toad School, so he would be able to possibly get that evolution out and prevent any of the discarded energies from making it back into Tanner's hand. That would eliminate the use of cards like Energy Retrieval being used. We see the pass and we move into Tanner's next turn, drawing the switch card for hand, placing that Pokestop. Looks like he's going to go ahead and hit that Pokestop. 1, 2, 3. He does go 1 for 3 on that Pokestop, losing that Lumineon and the boss's orders, getting that Ultra Ball. We do see in Tanner's hand, he does have the cards needed to get both those cards back into play. He could use the Palpad to get the boss back in the deck if needed. He does have a Night Stretcher. He could grab the Lumineon V. That would give him access to a Professor Sada with the Lumineous sign ability, allowing him to search the deck for a supporter. That would mean that he need to use that Ultra Ball to get another ancient Pokemon, whether it be another Raging Bolt or possibly the Slitherwing. The interesting fact on Slitherwing is it is a fighting Pokemon. Iron Thorns is weak to fighting Pokemon. We have seen the switch cart in Tanner's hand. He does have a few different options here for getting to that Iron Thorns. We will see the play for the Ultra Ball. He does now have the ability to get that Raging Bolt set up. He is grabbing the Slitherwing. That could be the option as well. He could use the Slitherwing to take out the Iron Thorns, leaving a one prize Pokemon in the active. So if Justin were able to get the Dragapult set up or another attacker, he is only going to be able to grab one prize off of that knockout. We do see the Lumineon V being played, allowing him to search for that Sada from his deck. He now will be able to get the energies he needs to set up either Pokemon to make the attack. I'm thinking right now the best move is going to be the Slitherwing with that Toedscool on the bench. All the energies being discarded from a Raging Bolt attack are going to be jeopardized in the discard pile, making it very hard for Tanner to get those energies out of the discard if the Toedscool is played. We see he is drawing the 3 from the Sada, pulling a Nest Ball and a Teal Mask Ogerpon. He does move the switch card. It looks like he will be attacking with the Slitherwing. He is adding the extra fighting energy needed. We have the Teal Mask Ogerpon and a Nest Ball played. The Teal Mask will not be able to dance this turn. Technically though, Justin has moved the Iron Thorns to discard. He is still in the active position, preventing any Teal Dance from being used. Looks like he's debating setting up a second Raging Bolt, possibly the Pheasantipity. He does go with the Teal Mask Ogerpon, getting 2 Ogerpons on the bench. Once he is able to handle the Iron Thorns this turn, he will be able to bring back the ability of the Teal Dance, allowing him to place more energies on the field. Turn will go to Justin. He is going to Pokegear. He pulls the Arven, obviously what he was looking for right off the top. He's going to be able to search the deck for an item and a supporter. He goes for the Precious Trolley and the Evolution. He is going to be able to load down that bench with basic Pokemon, giving him a better opportunity to get set up to make an attack with that Dragapult. We're going to see the Precious Trolley and the Technical Evolution be put into play. Searching his deck now, he has a second, third, and fourth Dreepy, going with another Iron Thorns EX on the bench. We would now expect to see him move for the Technical Machine Evolution. That will get a Toedscool into play if it is in the deck. I have not seen if he has that Toedscool in deck or if it is indeed in his prizes. He's going to manually attach for use of the Technical Machine Evolution. We're going to see him be able to get a couple Dracloaks and possibly the Toedscool in play this turn. We do see the Toedscool making it to the bench. That is going to activate the ability Slime Mold Colony, preventing any cards in Tanner's discard pile making it back into his hand by any trainer or Pokemon. He is hitting the Pokestop, which does read that it places the top 3 cards in the discard pile, allowing him to put any items back to his hand. I believe Toedscool's Slime Mold Colony is going to prevent that, though he does have that Nest Ball in hand. It appears Justin is questioning that, and the Nest Ball does make it to the discard pile. So we are set up with the Slitherwing in the active spot. He is going to add a Bravery Charm to give some health back to that Slitherwing. The Slitherwing could take out the Dreepy for 1 additional prize. He does have another Bravery Charm and an Iono. It looks like Tanner may be debating whether he should play that Iono. Searching through the discard first, he could be using that POW pad to get these cards back into the deck before using the Iono. He is going to pow pad those back into the deck. This will allow him the opportunity to draw those off the Iono if he does use it. I would expect to see the Iono as is the only support card he has in his hand at this time. Right now, the Slitherwing is set to attack. It does have the extra Bravery Charm. He has a second Bravery Charm in hand. I would expect to see that go into play before the use of the Iono, and it looks like it is going to go into play. He will attach the Bravery Charm to the Raging Bolt, and now we will see the Iono being played. This will give 4 cards to Tanner and 6 cards to Justin. Now this Iono could play out well for Justin as he is still looking for that Dragapult. These 6 cards could get him that Dragapult that is needed, and it looks like he does have a Dragapult there at the end of his hand. He is going to go ahead and move forward with the attack of the Slitherwing, getting him another prize. The Dracloak will move into the active position. Draw for turn. We will see Justin move with the Recon Directive, giving him a chance to look at the top 2 cards of his deck. He keeps one of those energies that he did draw. Now with this, he will still need to play a Crispin. He is playing the Pokegear, and he draws right into the Crispin gear, allowing him to place 2 energies on that Dracloak. He does have the Dragapult in hand. He can make the evolution into that. It would be nice to see him be able to swing that Slitherwing onto the bench, bringing out one of the other Pokemon and being able to capitalize by putting some damage on that Pokemon and knocking out the Slitherwing with that extra 60 damage that we are going to see from the Phantom Dive. We see the second Recon Directive being used. He has the Professor Turo scenario that's going to go to the bottom of the deck. He is going to be keeping that other card. We see the Dragapult go into play. Looks like he's going to be splitting up damage on the bench to the Teal Mask Ogrepons and the Raging Bolt. He is placing 10 on each Ogrepon and 40 on the Raging Bolt. This will put the Raging Bolt in knockout reach for that Dragapult as we see the Slitherwing make it to the discard pile. All those energies that are attached to that Slitherwing are going to be a little bit harder to get out of the deck with that Toedscruel in play. We see a draw on another Teal Mask Ogrepon. Still no energies in yet. He is going to discard that Ogrepon, not needing the third one on his bench to get energies. I'm assuming we will see 2 grass energies come out of that deck for use on the Teal Dance. That is going to give him some draw power, possibly pull another Sada out of the deck, be able to add some more energies to the Raging Bolt, further draw through that deck. Right now, he is looking at the Dragapult in the active position. He's going to need 5 energies on the field to take out that Dragapult. We still have the Toedscruel on the bench, preventing him from pulling any cards from his discard pile into his hand. That is also going to make things hard for him to get the energies he needs. We see there are 4 energies on the field now with those Teal Dances coming out from the Ogrepons, but he will need to get another energy, and to do that he's going to need to get a Sada. He does have the Pokegear. He gets to look at 7. This far into the game with the deck thinned out where it's at, I think we will probably see a Sada. I think we do. There is a Sada in hand. He will be able to place another energy on that Raging Bolt. That will put it to 5, but it would leave his Raging Bolt with no energies on the field for the next hand. So I'm not sure if that's what we will see. It will be interesting to see what Tanner does decide to do with the hand that he currently has. I have to assume that the Sada will be played next. It looks like he is considering, and he is going to Sada. Now, this is a situation where you are using a Sada and you are not fully benefiting from its use. If he had another ancient Pokemon on the bench, he could get 2 energies out, but he does not have another Raging Bolt. We saw the Slitherwing get knocked out earlier. So we are going to see just one energy make it to the field. He did grab the Fez on that Sada draw. It's going to allow him to place that on the bench. With the Slitherwing being knocked out from the previous turn, he is going to be able to flip the script and draw 3 more. We do see another Bravery Charm, a Night Stretcher, and an Earthen Vessel. The Night Stretcher is not going to be very helpful with that Toad Scroll on the bench. The Earthen Vessel doesn't get him any energies that he would be able to use this turn. Looks like he may have been considering the Prime Catcher. He could be Prime Catchering, maybe thinking about getting rid of that Toad Scroll. He does have a decent lead right now. He could take that so that the setup for the next turn is easier for him to draw those energies from the discard and stack that Raging Bolt up. We will see the attack from the Raging Bolt. So though we didn't see the action there, he did use the Prime Catcher. He did retreat the Teal Mask Ogrepon that he put on the field, discarding that grass energy, and then moved the Raging Bolt back in the active to do the attack. Moving to Justin, we do see the Lost Vacuum being used to eliminate that Bravery Charm. That is going to put Raging Bolt in the range of a Phantom Dive, as we know that the Raging Bolt did take 40 damage earlier that was placed by the Dragapult originally. So Justin does have the opportunity to get that Raging Bolt off the field. He is going to Iono. That is going to help as well. We are deep in this game. Tanner is up 2 prizes to 5. The Iono is going to shake it up a little bit with that disruption to Tanner. We have 2 cards being drawn from Tanner. Tanner is definitely not going to be in as good a position. He does draw on that energy retrieval and the Pokegear. He has a chance with those cards, but we will have to see where Justin gets with this. I would expect that we will see the Raging Bolt knocked out for a 2 prize grab. The Iono is really going to put Tanner in a rough spot trying to get the win next hand. Having those 2 cards, one being an energy retrieval, will get him 2 grass energies that he will be able to Teal Dance and get through that deck. He does have a Pokegear. He could use that to search for another Sada if it is in the deck. It would be beneficial to have another Raging Bolt on the field just to get another energy off of a Sada that would come up. But we will have to see where this goes. Justin's still considering, making sure there isn't anything else he can do to be completely sure. He has utilized everything he's able to play with, and it looks like we're going to see the Phantom Dive knocking out that Raging Bolt and splitting the damage across Fez and the Ogrepons. We will see 10 more damage on the Ogrepons and 40 damage on the Fez. Moving to Tanner, we see that Teal Mask Ogrepon, and he does get the Sada off of the draw. That is good. We are going to see a Pokegear. He does have that Sada in hand already. We're getting a look. He does have 2 bolts in the deck still. He is going to need those bolts out before he is going to be able to play that Sada. He does have an energy retrieval in hand. He would be able to pull 2 grass energies out and try to hit that Teal Mask. We see him fumble a switch card out of the deck on that shuffle. We know he has a switch card now. That would also be a useful tool at this point where he's at, not to have to get rid of an energy to get that bolt on the field. He does unfortunately draw a bolt on that Pokestop. He has the Lost Vacuum. He has the energy retrieval. He is flipping the script for another draw. We see a Night Stretcher that is going to get that bolt for him. That will grab that bolt for him, and he grabbed a Fighting Energy. Things are looking a little better off of that. That is, again, one of the greatest parts of the Raging Bolt is you have so many different ways of getting through the deck, getting what you need to be able to make these moves. We see he is starting the turn now without having a bolt in hand, without having any energies on the field, and just a couple draws. He has a lot of cards he is going to be able to use to get things moving. He may be able to take this game in this turn. He does have the cards in his hands to get the energies on the field. He does have some draw power with that Sada still yet to come. We see a Crispin. and a second bolt. That will also be very helpful, but it would have been nice to get that switch cart. The Sada will be able to place 2 energies now, and he will get 3 card draw off of the Sada, so we should see at least another shot at that switch cart. We now have 2 bolts on the field and 4 total energies. We do have a attached for turn still available. We could see the fighting energy placed on a raging bolt, and we see a lost vacuum for the Pokestop, putting another Pokestop on the field, being able to activate that Pokestop again. We get an energy retrieval and an earthen vessel. That is not going to help him get the bolt on the field with enough energies to take out the Dragapult. I believe we will be seeing Justin get another chance to try to come up with something to take the win on this second game, get him into the third game. We do see the attached for turn on that Raging Bolt. I do not believe we are going to get that in the active spot this time with enough power to take out that Dragapult. So Justin is going to have another attempt at salvaging this win. I do believe it's going to be very hard to do that. Justin is only increasing his chances by throwing another 2 grass energies in his hand. He will have enough energies to make the plays next turn to retreat the Ogerpon and have the Raging Bolt in the active position. We see the retreat happening now, and it looks like he's moving the Lumineon into the active spot. He has changed his mind. We see him moving the Raging Bolt up there. You see he did have the Raging Bolt with the 2 energies attached, but that is also putting the Raging Bolt in the active spot, vulnerable to an attack with 2 energies. So he would be seeing a loss of 2 energies if that bolt was going to be knocked out. So he does choose to go with the 1 Raging Bolt that has 1 energy attached, and we will see the turn move to Justin. Things are looking tough here for Justin. Having the Dragapult in play is not going to have enough damage to take out the bolt. There is another bolt on the field. There's just not a lot of options here for Justin to be able to make an attack and defend against taking a knockout from the Raging Bolt on Tanner's next turn. We are going to have to see some real strategic moves by Justin to get this game. He is looking at needing to get 2 knockouts, giving him 4 prizes, only needing 3 prizes to win the game. He does have a Dragapult on the field. There are multiple Pokemon that are damaged, but I do not believe at this point they're damaged within a range to be able to be knocked out by the Phantom Dive. We'll see the Nest Ball as he goes into the deck, searching to see maybe there is something in here he has not thought of yet. He does have the Radiant Alakazam that's going to let him move 20 damage, but I still don't believe that is going to be enough to get any of the benched Pokemon within range of that Phantom Dive. We are in game 2 of this final round. If Justin is not able to get the win on this, Tanner will be looking at a 2-0 victory over the Dragapult, placing him in first place for the tournament tonight. We have not yet seen a supporter from Justin. He does have an Iono in hand, I believe. We do see an Ultra Ball. He's going to dig through that deck again for another Pokemon. He is going to grab another Dragapult. I do not believe that's going to help him at all right now. Justin is needing a way to get 2 of those Pokemon, and I do not believe he has it. He is going to use the Recon Directive, try out some more cards. He does have an Iono in hand. That could play out to be very disruptive to Tanner. He is laying the Iono down. This could give him a little bit of a chance. I think we aren't going to see him be able to clinch the game this turn, but if he is able to disrupt Tanner enough to where he is not able to get the knockout on Justin, then he could have another turn where he could come back and we could see a game 3 on this. So This Iono could prove to be very beneficial for Justin here. We do see the guys shuffling. They're going to place their hands on the bottom of their decks. Tanner is going to draw 2. Justin did get to draw 3 on that. Tanner pulling a Boss's Order and a Radiant Greninja. That is not going to be very helpful in the next hand. We do see how disruptive it can be playing those supporters at the right time of the game. Just moments ago, Tanner had the cards in his hand to secure the win. Next turn, we are now looking at Tanner having to work those cards back out of his deck. He does still have a great chance at winning this game, but that Iono definitely put a little more hope into Justin. We see the Ogerpon being moved into play with that counter catcher. We see the damage from the Ogerpon being dumped onto the Fez with that ability from the Alakazam, and the active Pokemon will now be the loaded down Raging Bolt. The damage from the Phantom Dive will be split 40 on the active Raging Bolt and the other 20 on the benched Raging Bolt. Moving into Tanner's turn, he is very close to being able to get this game, but if he is not able to get enough damage to take out that Dragapult or to move a Pokemon into the active he can take out, we will see Justin have a great opportunity to grab that last prize. We do see an Earthen Vessel. We have a switch card, a Night Stretcher. He could Night Stretcher into another Teal Mask Ogerpon. He has 2 energies in deck. I think this is going to secure the win for Tanner. He would be able to Night Stretcher that Teal Mask Ogerpon, use an Earthen Vessel, grab 2 grass energies from the deck, and he would have 5 energies on the field. I think that is going to call it for the game. There's the Night Stretcher. There's the Ogerpon. He has the 2 grass energies. That is going to be it. That's 350 damage to it. You see the guys shaking hands there. The Raging Bolt is going to take it tonight, making easy work of the Dragapult Thorns deck, taking both games in a row, not making it to round 3. That will put Tanner undefeated for the night. He will be the winner of the Top Level Trades Pokemon League tournament this Saturday. This is not the first time we've seen Bolt at the top. Tanner does do a great job at playing that deck. As we saw here, that Raging Bolt just has so many ways to keep the cards coming. It has so many options for draws. It has so many options for attaching. Even with the Iron Thorns stopping it, and even with the Toedscruel in play, he was able to utilize the deck to get those cards into the active spot, take care of them early, not let those abilities that stop him linger for very long. And I think that is why we saw both games go to the Raging Bolt. We appreciate you for joining us for this Saturday's Top Level Trades Pokemon League. If you are interested in competing or learning how to play the game, check us out at facebook.com/Top Level Trades. We try to play every other Saturday, and our community is more than happy to help new players learn how to play this game. Thanks again for being here. We'll see you guys next time.